Right, welcome back. New video. This one's going to be on the starter motor. So any of you that have got one of these, you'll be aware that you won't be able to get an original starter motor for these anymore. The ST220 is going to be aftermarket, and even then they're quite expensive. So and I've found that a lot of aftermarket parts don't last as long as the original part that came with the car when it was manufactured. So not all the time, but quite a lot of the time. So I got trouble with mine. I got issues. It's making a horrible noise and it's sticking a bit. So I'm going to take it off, strip it down, clean it up, get it back together, and hopefully that'll make it last a little bit longer. The other reason I don't want to replace it for a brand new one is because I've got issues in the gearbox. So the rear main seal's leaking. I got slight oil residue coming out the bottom of the gearbox, so that tells me that rear main seal is leaking, and oil and clutch material are getting into the starter motor and causing at least some of these issues that I'm talking about, at least making it stick. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's the first video I've done for a little while. That's probably mainly because I've been concentrating on the DERV, the ST220 that I've got. So that's had a new clutch and subframe. I've been buying some parts, mine, because I can't help myself. So that gearbox there is from Sam Adams. So if you're watching, Sam, cheers, top man. Decent quality parts again. Sorted me out again. There's a powder coated subframe. So this is the second one I've bought recently, powder coated and polybushed. This is off of a local guy, Jay Bembridge. So if you're watching, Jay, thanks very much. I bought some exhaust flexes as well. These are becoming really rare, increasingly rare, and they're quite expensive as well for what they are. So 85 quid a piece, so 170 quid for the pair. And I've painted those with a bit of high temperature paint in a bid to try and keep them looking good, try and preserve them, because the ones on the car corroded quite badly. So yeah, I thought give that a go. Don't know how successful it's going to be, but yeah, try that. So yeah, I got new arms to go on the TDCI. Like I said, that's been keeping me busy. Not that it necessarily needs it, but the subframe has been changed for a polybush subframe, so I want to get those polybush arms on as well. I've got new ball joints to go on it as well, on the TDCI. This is not the so this is a topic of conversation on the groups. So these are the original ball joints of the ST220 when I did the front suspension overhaul video, so go back and have a look at that. And these original ball joints, the 220 ones, are actually a jag part. So whatever you do, because this is a big topic of conversation on the groups, don't mix up the TDCI and the 220 ball joints. If you're going to put new ball joints on your 220, they have to be the specific 220 ball joints. There are slight differences. I'm not going to go into it, but there are. It's only very slight, but if you try and fit these, the TDCI ones, to your 220, it gives you camber issues and wheel alignment issues, all sorts, or it can do. So yeah, the replacements for these are Lemforder 2606002 is the part number, I think. So yeah, don't make that mistake. I nearly fell for it, but yeah, it caused you a lot of problems. So make sure you use the specific 220 ball joints. So yeah, I think that is about it really as to what I've been up to. But yeah, getting back to this video, I'm going to get this thing up on the ramps and get that front under tray down. You don't have to take the front under tray down, but it's just easier, I think. It gives you a little bit more access. So yeah, I'm going to get the starter motor off, strip it down, clean it up, etc. Get it back on, and hopefully that'll improve it. And yeah, I'm hoping to go to a few shows this summer, so I just want to make it a little bit more reliable, and hopefully I won't be breaking down at any of these shows, which would be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'll shut up chatting and in a bit, yeah. So there's a load of these T30, I think it is, T30 screws. Yeah, T30. Load of those, and then I fitted a load of new fixings, which are 8s, because the old ones rotted out. Right, this should now come out. Oh yes. Right, so hope you're getting all this. It's not too important, but all those fixings got to come out on that under tray. Mine are pretty decent condition because I've already changed them, but if that under tray's not been on for a long time, those fixings might be pretty badly corroded, so yeah, you might be struggling with that a little bit, but I'll bring you in. So there's the starter motor up there, obviously. Like I was saying before, these bolts here. So as you've seen, I've disconnected the battery, so I'm going to undo that one and the top one, get it down, and then disconnect the electrical connections. So yeah, try and put you in a place where you can see what I'm doing, but bear with. It's been a while since it's been off, since I last had it off, so oh yes, 13 it is. So, like I said, that one's easy. It's the one at the top. It's tricky. And you've got the oil cooler hoses as well. But that is gone straight on it. So, I'll leave the socket on it. See if I can get my ratchet on it. This Milwaukee kit as well, by the way, is absolute the dog's nuts. Cat's out. So it's just a couple of 13mm nuts. The electrical connection. In fact, I think there's only one that needs to come off to take the whole assembly off. I think. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah. So I got a little bit of movement there, look, as you can see. There you go. Now the WD's got in there. And hopefully that should start coming out quite nice. Like that. Those dowels are quite tight actually. But, just sort of take your time and be gentle with it because you don't want to break anything. There you go. There we go. There we go. There she is. Mother. Right, so I just got to get those electrical connections off now. Right, there's the 10mm. There we go. There she is. And she's out. Right, so as you can see, I've got a start motor on the bench. And I just want to give it a quick test, really. So I'm hoping I will get away with just reusing this thing. But yeah, let me just show you what I've been doing. Don't do this at home, will you? Like I am. I wouldn't advise it. So I just wanted to test the solenoid and the motor individually. The solenoid is sort of straightforward enough. It's a little bit sketchy, but there you go. So that's working fine. The motor, and these terminals get hot, so there's a lot of load on this, obviously, because it's got to turn the engine, so it's a fairly high current motor. So there's the motor terminal there, that one. That's the solenoid terminal. And I think that's the output from the solenoid, which gives you the supply onto the motor, I think. But anyway, just for testing purposes. I can't hold it on for too long because these terminals get red hot. But yeah, so far so good. And then that 13mm nut's got to come off, because there's your leadlet to the motor, there's your supply cable to the motor itself, though. That's the one that takes all the load, if you like. So take that off. And then this should all come apart. So that, if you can see, is pretty shitty. So that is one of my issues. Obviously that all needs a good clean out and a bit of lubrication. So also behind this plate you can see where these cogs have been running on this plate. I've got a bit of corrosion there as well. That plate comes out again, full of rubbish and shit. So there's the actual windings for the motor there, and that does feel a bit suspect to me. Don't feel that smooth, but I'm hoping with a good clean up and a bit of lubrication I might get that back. Do you know what? I don't think that armature looks that bad. The brushes are a little bit worn, but to be expected. I'm just a little bit concerned if I completely strip this apart, I'm going to have a nightmare getting it back together again. So what I might do is just give this a bit of a good clean up as it is. Perhaps lubricate that, because that looks like a little brass bearing there. See, it's no wonder it's running rough, all the shit that's coming out of it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to clean this up for now. And before I go too far stripping it, clean it up, make sure I can get it all back together again. And then I'll have a look at this part of the starter motor, clean all this up. I don't want to take that off completely because, like I said, those brushes are spring loaded, and once they've popped out off of that armature surface, I'm going to struggle to get all that back together again. So like I said, this is just a quick strip down and clean up. I mean, this is just some of the stuff that I've got out of it, not all of it, because I've cleaned this off once already. So there's quite a bit of rubbish coming out. So this is like a brass bearing there, brass bearing housing. I will be paying particular attention to some of the parts, like that bearing in there, and the end of that spindle, that cog there, for example, and equally that one on that side. So again, just a bit of brake cleaner. Go round, just make these internal parts as clean as I possibly can. And as you can see, there's still quite a bit of dirt coming off of these, so although I got rid of the worst of it with the wire brush, it's still actually pretty dirty. So same again. All these cogs here have got little needle bearings in them, look. Don't know if you can see. So yeah, let's take all those out, clean them up. And I'll probably use some high temperature grease in there as well. Okay, so I finished cleaning up all the various parts of this. I've just been firing a load of penetrating fluid in there, but that's pretty good now. That's quite clean in there, and I'm not too worried about this part. I think the problem was the actual motor itself. So like I said, I've cleaned it up as best I can without stripping it right down, and now I'm just going to start reassembling it, putting a little bit of lubricant, a little bit of high temperature grease on some of the bearings, the spindles, and so hopefully this thing will last a bit longer. I'm going to put a tiny bit of high temperature grease on that ball bearing. Get that in there. So then these three fit on there as well. So again, a little bit of grease. So I think that's pretty well lubricated now. So now I'm going to get this plate on. Okay, that looks good. Right. That's it. Nope. That on there. Right. Start bolting this back together, I think. And hopefully that'll be all good. Right. Hopefully I've done enough to make this thing last another year or so. Hopefully. hopefully it still works. Yeah, so that's it. That's about as much as I'm going to do, because you know, I've obviously got issues inside the gearbox. There's obviously oil. Most of you will probably know it's the rear main seal. Basically, the rear main seal's leaking. You can see residue oil on the bottom of the gearbox. I'll show you in a minute when we get back under the car. But so that engine oil and clutch material is getting inside of there, which I don't think was necessarily. I mean, it was sticking. So this part was sticking at times. Like I said, I've done this before, but I think I had another issue. I've got another issue with the motor. So I think bearings are worn, and I think the brushes are worn as well. So, you know, I just want this thing to last a little bit longer, and by cleaning this out and by cleaning and greasing the bearings and all the rest of it, hopefully I'm going to make it last a bit longer. So this would probably sound sweet to begin with, but after a few months of driving it's probably going to go back, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, so before I get it back on the car, I'm just going to give it a quick test. Make sure it's all working. So solenoid first. Yep. Spot on. And the motor. Yep, all good. That's what you're up against. Trying to get that little 10mm nut. I don't know if you can still see it now, but it is quite tricky to see it from underneath. Starter motor's playing up. I think it's on its way out.